Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel today. So a quick recap, this is my layout from yesterday. I've added a couple of things. So I've added these little word chipboard pieces, and I'm pretty sure I added the twine on camera, and I think I added the hearts on camera as well. So I've added those three, and and I did some little doodly borders around that green and then around that rainbow stripe. So that's the first page done, and it's where I know what this looks like, and I'm ready to move on to my second page now. Now this is not a double pager, it is more a companion page. I've got my 4 photos, I've got my background paper which I used in that big chunk on the other side, and what I've done when I packed up, I pulled aside all of the things that I absolutely used on the first page. This doesn't need to be in there, that needs to go in with my die cuts. So I know I've used this rainbow strip on the other side, and I've pulled in these 2 Say Cheese patterns. I've also got this other one that I can cut apart and use as an embellishment if I wish to. But I know I used that pattern on the other page. I've got the other 2 halves of those 2 frames that I used. The same black and white twine. And obviously I have used the puffies. I have used both sets of thickers. I think I'm going to use from here the Love You, or perhaps the Live, Laugh, Love, or maybe both, I don't know. And the same alphabets that I've used for my title, and this sheet of pattern paper, because I know I use that for a layer as well. So that is as much thought as I have put into this at this stage. I've got my 2 die cut packs over here. This is the Field Notes ephemera, and this is the Colour Kaleidoscope Labels ephemera. So I'm going to start building my page. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so I'm back, and as you can see, I'm just laying my photos out in a bit of a grid to see how I want to go ahead with this page. I started with the offcuts of this blue pattern, thinking that I can make it work. This is one of my little quirks. I don't love in paper pads how you get the perforated edge. It actually really annoys me. So I always use my trimmer or scissors to cut it down. So there you go, one of my little quirks. You can see I quickly gave up that idea and I've moved on to something else. I'm going to mount my photos on some white cardstock. I had mounted the other one on white cardstock, so I thought I would do the same on this side. Now these 2 photos are obviously only like seconds apart, but I wanted to double check if I'd managed to print the same photo twice, and they're very slightly different, but they are different. So I'm just using my trimmer to trim those edges down and make sure they're nice and straight. I don't know why I bother about straight sometimes, because so much of what I do is not straight, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm just trimming all of those down. You can see I've pulled in that big circle pattern as well, and I am going, you can watch and see what I do. I'm just trimming these photos down, but straight away I've started with that same pattern from the background on the other page. I had the idea that I might lay them across in a line, and then I was like, yeah, I don't love that. I'm going to cut this down. I trim this one, I think, to 8.5 square, and then I used some of this craft colour on the other page. So rather than using the exact same pattern, I've used the same colour, and I'm cutting this down to 9 by 9. And I like how that separates the green and that spotty pattern. So those 3 layers in my background are going to be like that. For a little while I contemplated using only the 3 photos, and you can see I've quickly switched back to the 4. I really like having them in that corner where I've got them. I don't know what it was about the composition, but I just liked it there, so I ran with it. I'm using a strip of that black say cheese pattern, and like I said, I wanted to bring this blue in as well because I used it on the other page. And I'm just bringing in the branding strip. It does have the hole in it, but it's going to be covered by my photos, so not really a big deal. And you can see I've also brought in that rainbow. I thought I was going to use this Love You for my title, and it stays there for quite a while. So I'm just having a bit of a play, seeing what I want to add. I love this pink chipboard piece. I think it says Awesomeness. I'm pretty sure my layout is here again. It is. So I've got that pink chipboard piece down the bottom, and straight away I'm going back to the pieces that I used on the other page to start with my layers. I've got those 2 frames that I used, and I've just layered those up the top. I'm going to bring in this chipboard rainbow tab that says Captured, and I'm going to bring that say cheese in another place, so I'm just cutting that out. Now, I don't like speech bubbles. I don't know why, but I do not like them. So if I ever use them, I do tend to cover up the pointy bit. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like them. For that continuity between the 2 pages, I'm outlining again, just 2 straight lines. You can see it's nothing complicated. I have flipped over that background to do the rainbow ones. And again, I've only outlined essentially the same 2, not the same 2 patterns, but on the other page, I outlined the green that I'm using in the background here and the rainbow stripe. And on this one, I've outlined the spots, which is the background on the other page. Just hope that makes sense. And the rainbow strip. So I am like, this is driving me crazy. I'm going to stick everything down. So I'm just adding a little bit of adhesive. I'm bending up all of the edges and sticking them down where I had them because I was quite happy with my composition. It's not really obvious on the video here, but I am making sure that all of my edges are slightly offset. That rainbow looks like it is exactly in square with the say cheese, but it's not. It is offset. Sorry for my head, just making sure that's lined up. Now I went with these photos off to the left to balance on the other page the photos on the right hand side. So I thought this was a good way to balance them off. And again, I'm using that big cluster up the top, and I'm just layering all the things. I got to the point, like I said, where I was just like, this is driving me crazy. I'm just going to start sticking. The say cheese fits perfectly in the corner there that tab, chipboard tab makes. So I'm just going to layer those together. Adding some foam adhesive behind some of the pieces just for that extra dimension. Tried this other frame and was like, meh. Try a few different pieces. And I'm looking for my pink chipboard piece that I lost. I think I pull in, I try this, it's the offcut from one of the tags, and I pull in here the field notes labels ephemera because I knew there was a tag in there. But I pull out that craft tag and then that blue one as well, and I'm just going to add those to the layers. You can see I'm just pulling things up as I go, and I found that easier than placing things and then adhering them after I decided. So I'm just roughing everything up again, a bit more dimension and interest. So I'm not real happy with that white space at the top, so I'm going to look for something else to put in there. Start with this little craft coloured tab and I don't like it there, so I move it down here and it goes vertically. It says good stuff, like it there. Thought about adding some blue in, didn't love it, and I found these little labels. I didn't love the yellow on the yellow, so there's also a pink one, and that one says the good stuff. So I'm going to rough that up and slip that in there. And again, just making sure that my edges are slightly offset and nothing is exactly in line. Try a couple of circle bits, decide I don't like it. Tried my camera and I decided at this point to move that love you. I take it off and I pop it over here. Stays there for a little while. This is where my title is going to go. So I have started with the live, laugh, love, and then I saw the big, I was like, oh, I'm going to add that in. So I shuffled all that up a bit and I made sure that it was kind of all centered in that gap. Take this love you off, recentering that word big, adding my dot. And now I'm looking for something extra. So down the bottom here, I use these holographic letters. I love them. Today made me laugh. I absolutely lost it laughing when he put these shoes on. It was so funny. And he's the more serious of my two children, and I never ever expected that he would actually put on a show and let me take photos, but he did. So I couldn't help but laugh. That love you has made it back on the page and it will stay there now. I'm going to bring in some more of these stickers. I use the big pink heart up the top there and then a little one down there. And then I'm like, I've only got the holographic in one place. I need to add more. So there's a bunch of little stars. I'm not up to the stars. I tell a lie. What am I doing? Okay, so I'm trying out a few more pieces. So I bought in a couple of these little white words because I had those on the other page and I really like them. So the one right up the top says I like it. The one that I've just stuck down says today, and there's one more up the top above the good stuff and that says memories. Now I'm coming in with my holographic stars. So there's a bunch of these little stars on this stickers pack. I love them. I have had to go back in off camera and stick down all of the chipboard and all of the, I don't even know what that stuff is. Epoxy, puffy, weird, fun, beautiful, love them. But I have gone back in and used some wet adhesive to stick those down. Going to add some twine. This was a bit of a pain for me, so I don't make you watch that. I'm just going to add it to my two tags here. I feel like there's enough movement and difference on this page that it's fine how it is. I was like, what am I missing? So I add in another one of these pink moths. Again, just adding adhesive to his body and popping him on the page. And some black splatters once again. Now you can see I'm splattering all over the place and it is going on to some of the things I don't want it to go on. The next shot, nope, I'm going to give you a close-up. Doesn't that look cool? I love all the bright colours. I just used a baby wipe to clean it off while it was still wet. It came off very easily. Here are the two pages together. I hope you've enjoyed. What do you think of the idea of companion pages rather than a double page spread? I really hope that you've enjoyed these. I think I have one more share coming up with this collection. I just need to make it yet. So, as always, thank you ever so much for stopping by. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Make sure you follow all the links in the description box below over to the store. And I will see you again very soon. Thanks for stopping by.